Does love really exist, or is it just a myth, a figment of our imagination? It's a provocative question, isn't it? We're all familiar with the concept of love. It shapes our lives, influences our decisions, and is often the driving force behind our most profound moments. But is it real, or is it just a concept we've invented to make sense of our emotions and relationships? Let's dive into the intriguing world of love, or perhaps the lack of it. Love is often painted as the ultimate human experience, isn't it? A feeling so profound and all-encompassing it can make the heart flutter and the soul soar. This is the romantic perspective of love, the view that sees love as a euphoric journey, an intimate bond that transcends physicality and merges two spirits into one. Think of the classic love stories that have captured our hearts and minds. Romeo and Juliet, the star-crossed lovers who would rather die than be apart. Or Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, two souls who navigate through their prejudices and societal norms to find love. These tales from literature are not just stories, but they express the depth and intensity of the romantic perspective of love. And it's not just in books. Movies too have a way of showcasing the immense power of love. Remember Jack and Rose from Titanic? Their love story, though short-lived, was so impactful that it made the viewers weep and wish for a love as deep and passionate. Or Noah and Allie from The Notebook, who showed us that even Alzheimer's couldn't erase the love they had for each other. And of course, real-life instances of romantic love are all around us. We've all heard of couples who have been together for decades, their love standing the test of time. They've weathered storms, faced hardships, and yet, their bond remains unbroken. They've made sacrifices, big and small, all in the name of love. It's these couples that make us believe in the power of love, in its ability to conquer all. The romantic perspective of love is all about this deep emotional connection, this feeling of euphoria that makes everything else seem insignificant. It's about the sacrifices you make for your partner, the lengths you go to make them happy. It's about putting someone else's happiness before your own, about caring for someone more than you care for yourself. So from this perspective, love seems powerful and real, doesn't it? But what if we told you that all these feelings could be explained by simple biological processes? That's right, folks. What we often perceive as this grand, mysterious emotion called love might be nothing more than a dance of chemicals within our bodies. Let's delve into the biological perspective of love. First on the list is oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone or the cuddle hormone. It's produced in the hypothalamus, a small region of the brain that's responsible for hormone production. When we hug or kiss a loved one, oxytocin levels increase in our bodies. This hormone promotes bonding and increases trust, making us feel more connected to the person we're with. Next up is dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a crucial role in how we perceive pleasure. It's released in large amounts when we experience something new, exciting, or rewarding. So those butterflies you feel when you're around your crush? That's dopamine doing its magic. It's what makes new love feel so intoxicating and addictive. But there's more. There are also vasopressin and serotonin, hormones that contribute to the longevity and intensity of love. Vasopressin is associated with the formation and development of long-term monogamous relationships. Serotonin, on the other hand, influences our mood and social behavior, and its levels can fluctuate when we fall in love. And let's not forget about endorphins, our body's natural painkillers. They help us cope with physical pain and stress, and are also responsible for the feelings of safety and comfort we associate with long-term relationships. So when we talk about love, we're essentially talking about a well-orchestrated symphony of hormones and neurotransmitters, all working together to create feelings of attachment, happiness, and pleasure. It's fascinating, isn't it? The way our bodies work to make us believe in something as intangible and elusive as love. But it also begs the question, if these feelings can be traced back to biological processes, are they any less real or meaningful? Could it be that what we call love is merely a cocktail of hormones? But there's another perspective to consider. Could love be a societal construct? Let's dive into this thought. We could argue that love, as we understand it today, has been shaped by centuries of human culture and societal norms. The idea of romantic love, the soul-stirring, heart-pounding, poetry-inspiring passion, is relatively new in the grand scheme of human existence. In ancient times, marriages were often arranged for political or economic reasons, not for love. It was more about alliances and survival, less about personal feelings. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and we have the concept of courtly love emerging among the nobility, where knights would express their undying love for ladies, often from afar. Yet this was more of an idealized, unattainable love, rather than a reality for most. Now let's shift our gaze to different cultures. Love is not universally defined or experienced in the same way. In some societies, love is seen as a deep bond that takes time to develop, often after marriage. In others, love is celebrated as an intense, immediate attraction. And in some cultures, love is considered a secondary factor to more practical concerns like familial duty or economic stability. So if love is influenced by cultural norms and societal expectations, is it truly a universal, innate human experience? Or is it a construct, a product of our collective imagination, shaped by the stories we tell, the songs we sing, and the media we consume? Think about it. Our perception of love is often influenced by societal expectations. We are taught to believe in the idea of the one, the perfect soulmate who completes us. We are sold the dream of fairy tale endings and happily ever afters, often from a young age. But these are constructs, aren't they? Ideals that we strive for, often without questioning their origin or validity. So, is love real, or is it a product of our social conditioning? Is it an innate human emotion, or an idea we have been conditioned to believe in? As we peel back the layers, the answer might not be as clear-cut as we once thought. Some even say that love is just about sex and nothing more. Now, that's a statement that can get a room buzzing. It's the cynical perspective, the viewpoint that peels away all the romantic notions and gets down to what some believe to be the bare, raw truth. The cynics argue that love, in all its poetic grandeur, is nothing more than a clever disguise for sexual desire. They say that love, as we know it, is just a pretty mask we put on the primal urge to procreate, an elegant veil that makes the base instinct more socially acceptable, more palatable. In this line of thought, all those heart-fluttering emotions, the butterflies, the longing gazes, the yearning for another's presence, are just biological signals pushing us towards the mating dance. It's not about the soul meeting another soul, it's about the body seeking another body. The cynics might even argue that love is a survival mechanism, a biological trick that nature has played on us to ensure the continuation of our species. After all, if we didn't have this burning desire to be with someone, to form intimate relationships, would we still procreate? Would we still go to such great lengths to find a mate? In this perspective, love is nothing more than a primal instinct. It's a biological imperative, a force of nature that compels us to seek out a partner, to reproduce, to ensure our genes carry on to the next generation. It's not about finding your soulmate or your other half, it's about finding a suitable partner for procreation. This view certainly strips love of its romantic sheen. It takes away the magic, the mystery, the enchantment. But is that all there is to love? Is love really just about sex and nothing more? Could it be that we've been fooled by our own biology, tricked into believing in something that doesn't exist? Could love be nothing more than a primal instinct? It's a question that might leave you with more questions than answers. But isn't that the beauty of such discussions? They make us question, they make us think, they make us see things from different perspectives. So after all this, what can we say about love? We've taken a journey today, navigating the labyrinth of love from various vantage points. We've seen the romantic perspective, where love is painted in hues of passion and connection, a profound bond that transcends the mundane. Yet this view is often challenged by the biological perspective, where love is stripped down to primal urges and evolutionary needs, a mere cocktail of hormones and neurotransmitters. We've also dipped our toes in the waters of societal constructs, where love is seen as a cultural invention, a narrative spun by society to maintain order and propagate the species. This perspective often runs headlong into the cynical view, where love is reduced to a transactional exchange, a give-and-take relationship dictated by self-interest. Each perspective offers a different answer to the question, does love exist? Some suggest it's a beautiful, transcendental phenomenon. Others claim it's a biological necessity, a societal construct, or a cynical game. In the end, maybe there isn't a one-size-fits-all verdict on love. Perhaps it's all of these things, or none of them. Maybe it's a personal journey of discovery, a riddle wrapped in an enigma, unique to each individual. Perhaps the answer to the question, does love exist, isn't as simple as we'd like to believe.